Hello, 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 my crafty buds. It's your crafty bud Peggy. And I hope you guys are having a wondertastic weekend so far. It's raining here. Imagine that. But you know what? I'm still having a great weekend no matter what. Guys, I've decided to work on my book. I've got a couple challenges I've got to get done, but in the meantime, I'm also putting together my book for back in our racetrack days. And like I was saying, it's going to have something to do with the challenge that I'm coming up with. And maybe in about a week I'll have everything ironed out for that. But it's going to be horse related, of course. Because of this book right here. And guys, a couple of you girls was wondering how I put together my books for the covers and stuff. And guys, this is what I do right here. This book of mine is going to be 12 by 12 by 5. This is going to be a monster of a book. And it has to be, because it's going to encompass all of our win pictures and barn pictures and stuff from when me and the hubby was on the racetrack years ago. We were there for quite a long time, and we've got quite a few pictures, so I want to get them all in one book. And I want to be able to do some nice embellishing and things, you know, and stuff, because this is going to be, you know, our racetrack book from our years. So, but anyways, guys, to make this book, I have made this 12 by 12, the front and back cover, and my spine is 5 inches wide by 12 inches long. And like I said, this is going to be a monster of a book, but it has to be. And to make this one, guys, I have a package of 12 by 12 medium weight chipboard in the other room. So I went ahead and took 5 pieces of that and doubled the front and back cover to make a stronger binding on that. And for my spine, I cut one down to 5 inches, and then glued them together for my spine. So that's what I've done. And for you guys to make something of this size, if you were making it from scratch without buying the chipboard, I would suggest using like one of the big family size lasagna boxes, big pizza boxes. To make this thickness, though, you would need 4 pieces a side. Like this front cover, 4 of them, 12 by 12 glued together. Your binding, 4 pieces at 5 by 12, and your back cover, 4 12 by 12 sheets. Glue them together, and you should get the proper thickness, because a book this big, you want it to be thick and have some oomph to it, okay? So that's what I've done with that. This white stuff down the middle right here, guys, this is called Tyvek. Ty, V as in Victor, E-K. And guys, I bought this on eBay. I bought a big old sheet of this stuff. I think I gave $5 for this to get this. I've had this for a while. A little dab will do you with this. I think you can still get the envelopes made out of this at the post office. And they are also making house wraps out of this now. Because, guys, this stuff is awesome. I mean, you can't destruct this. You can't rip this. You have to cut this or burn it. You can't just tear this. So years ago, whenever I started making mini albums and stuff, I started watching the greats, and all of them used Tyvek for their seams to hold their books together, for their bindings and stuff, because it's virtually indestructible. And your bindings, you're going to be opening and shutting them a lot. And you know, with regular paper, over time it splits and tears, and then you've got 2 covers and the spine, you know, again, and your book's all apart. So you want it to last as long as possible. So they use Tyvek, I use Tyvek, so that's what I do. I go a good inch on each side of my seam here. I cut a nice, at least 2-inch strip. Like I said, go right down the middle of my seams. Let that dry front and back. And then to cover it, I use 65-pound cardstock. I get the best bang for my buck I can on that as well. So, you know, just get the best price that you can on a good weight cardstock. And I just basically cut this in half. You want to go over a little bit on each side. of your Tyvek there. And that's what I do. I go a good inch on either side and just cover that up. You know, you don't want to go crazy, like I said, with the using of the paper. You don't necessarily have to wrap, you know, the book. If you're using black cardstock like I am, this is what I do. If you have to wrap it, I would just glue enough pieces of your cardstock together to cover your front and back. There, a nice good cover and adhesion, and have plenty of room on each side for bending and stuff, you know. But like I said, today I'm using the Artie Black, so I'm just going to go up here and meet this and go about an inch on each side, like I said. Smooth that down good. If you have a brayer or something, yes, use that by all means. You want to get this as flat as you can. And I am using, guys, the Eileen's Turbo Tacky Glue. I use that for my paper. To glue down my Tyvek, I use E6000. E6000 is great for metal embellishments. Paper, of course, you glue it down with E6000, you're going to have to tear it to pieces to get it off. So, and I love it. I love the Art Deco glue, but unfortunately I cannot afford how much it is, because the last time I tried to get a 16-ounce refill, which is what I like to get, you know, I'm going to get as much bang for my buck as I can get, so I go with the big refill size, because I have the bottle in there. It's refillable with the nice fine tip. Little dab will do you with that glue, but god dog, it's so expensive. To get it and get it shipped to me was like $35 for a 16-ounce bottle, and I just wasn't willing to do that. So I went back to the Walmart and got me a tube of this for $2 and change, and the same with this, and that's what I use. So, you know, but yeah, get that adhered down really good there and covered up, and whenever that dries, just, you know, gradually bend it, you know, so that you don't, you know, crack it and bust it. Gradually give it a nice little bending there and stuff, you know. I don't know if I'm glued enough yet, but just kind of work it gently. You know, just don't grab it and bend it. You know, just work it gently. Give it a little back to it. The way that you're going to open and shut it, just give it a little light bending there. Keep working it down until it's dry. But you do it gradually so it won't split. You know, you don't want it to split, but you want it nice and tight so that it's smooth. You know, and then that covers that up. See, I'll go back over this. I'll take a brayer to it and stuff and try to get that just as smooth as possible. And then all you need is just a little bit to cover up the bottom there. But like I said, you want to get that nice adhesion on there as good as you can get. I recommend a brayer or something, or laying heavy objects. I'll lay books on it if you guys don't have tools like that. I'm generally pretty much old school. Whenever I do stuff like that, I'll get me a few heavy books and put down on it for drying and for the weight. And then when it's dry, you know, it's nice and flat. And then if any of your edges come up, you can hit it again. But that's what I do, guys, to make my books, my book covers and stuff. And then I'll share with you how I do my bindings and stuff as I do the inside of it there. And one of my new friends that was on here has trading cards, and one of them's Calvin Burrell, and I commented that I knew him and stuff, and he said, oh, I would show some of my pictures that I have. So I'll show you real quick some of the pictures that's going in this book. This is me whenever I was younger with one of my horses there. We were at Churchill Downs ready to race. And we were in the barn area there getting ready for post. And then this horse here, this is one here. I laughed so hard at him. When I got him, I kind of inherited him. He chased his groom around the barn. He was going to kick his butt, buddy. He made Sheck Man mad in the stall one day, and Shecky busted through his crossbar and stuff and proceeded to chase this dude around the stall like, boy, if he'd got a hold of him, that would have been it. I laughed so hard, I understood him, got in his head there a little bit, and he went a race for me. And I've got some pictures here with Calvin Burrell. This is one of my old hard knockers here. This is old Bad Fast. This was at Louisiana Downs back in 1992. He went a race for me there, and there's Calvin sitting in the irons there. Calvin Burrell's my favorite jockey, guys. Me and my husband know him personally. He's a wonderful person in real life. This right here is Joe Lamy. This little filly right here loved to make Calvin mad at her. She tried to throw him over the infield railing one time whenever he was riding her. And we put somebody else on him, and then she didn't do nothing, so he came back and went on her. It was funny. She tried it again that day. He got her straightened up and win, though. He was like, God, what is it with this filly? And then this one here's my favorite. This is Misty Wagon. This horse here, nobody wanted him when I got him in the barn. Everybody had outran him and everything, and he had the blues really bad. He knew nobody wanted him, and he was really depressed. And he became my friend. And I really got in Misty's head, and I got him to feeling good about himself. And after that, he got so if he didn't get his picture took in the winner's circle, he was mad. And there's me and Calvin there. Of course, I'm kissing him on the nose there. I'm so proud of him. And they won a little award that day, and Calvin's holding the Horsehead Award there. And then here he is again. This is another guy riding him here, though, but, you know, he just wanted to ride, you know, he just really loved it, and he loved getting his picture took in the winner's circle. And then here's Calvin on one of my horses, big fillies. This was a $100,000 stake race at Ellis Park. And my husband couldn't go, of course. He had other horses and stuff and had to stay behind. So the trainer and his son went and ran her. And, of course, she won. And there's Calvin winning on Explosive Silence there. And that was one of his big horses of his career. And then here Calvin is again on another one of Mark's horses. This is Copper Pop. And this filly, my Misty Wagon was in love with her. And he was a gelding, but he used to climb the wall. We had to resurface his stall wall so he wouldn't look at her. He would pull himself up to the top and look over the wall at her and nicker at her and stuff. And he was a gelding. So we used to laugh our head off that she was so beautiful she could even make a eunuch turn his head. But anyways, guys, that's just a little bit about my history there and why I'm making this book. And it will be the next challenge. I want to add some work from you guys in my book. And it's going to be very special. I have a special paper line that I've bought for the book. And I'm going to be asking you guys for some specific things. And we're going to have a little fun throughout this challenge. I want to do a couple of just whimsy things that I'm going to give away stuff throughout it. And we're just going to have a little fun. You know, and it's going to be horse related, like I said. So those of you that are fellow horse lovers with me, just squirrel away some little whatnots and stuff because it's going to be horse related. And I'm still ironing out all the details, but it will be soon. So guys, until next time, I hope you're having a wonderific weekend thus far. Those of you that's new to my channel, stick around. I've got a sensational amount of awesome crafters I want to introduce you to. And I'm compiling a list of some of our newcomers who need some good crafty love that I personally don't think that y'all should miss out on. They are awesome crafters, and I'm going to help get them out there if I can. And guys, those of you that's been with me, you know how I feel about you. I hope y'all are having a wonderful weekend. And if you're feeling down and blue, just know that Stormy is thinking about you, okay? So guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week coming up. And until next time, be crafty, be cool, and I'll see you when I'm looking at you, all right? Bye-bye.